Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have the Horror Booktube tag. I was tagged by Dane of Dane Reads and this tag was started by Hey Little Thrifter. This is going to be an interesting tag for me to do, seeing as I do not read horror at all, nor do I watch it. In fact, it's something I steer clear from and have done for probably about 10 years now, although I do think that I watched the Hammer horror version of Dracula in 2014. It's not that I dislike the genre, it's just that I don't like to terrify myself. I find it somewhat anxiety-inducing, and also, I don't have that much space on my shelves. In fact, I think I might own one horror book, and that is Dracula. I've been to Whitby a few times, and so there's a lot of Dracula. So the first question is, how and when did you get into horror? I'm still waiting. What was the first horror book that you read? I know that when I was a child, I would get the Goosebumps books out of the library, so it was probably one of those. What horror-related goodness can we expect from your channel? Apart from my face, I can't really think of anything else. 4. Do you have any favourite themes or subgenres in horror? I'm a fan of middle grade horror, you know, the stuff that they'd share on Disney, like Twitches 2 or Halloween Town, so no. Name an underrated horror novel or author. For this, I'm going to say Stephen King, because I haven't read him yet, so he's definitely underrated by me. 6. Name an overrated horror novel or author. I'm going to mention Dracula here, because this is clearly a romance novel wrapped up within vampire fiction. Recommend 3 of your favourite horror novels. We have Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. This has zombies in it. I'm going to mention The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Some people might call this a children's book, but I'd say anyone who's living in a graveyard with ghosts might just find some horror in their lives. And 3, I'm mentioning Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, because that bastard Voldemort used to give me nightmares. Recommend a book for someone who is new to the horror genre. I'm going to allow you to answer that one. Please do actually recommend a horror novel for me to read. Are there any book-to-film adaptations that you particularly loved or hated? No. I'd say that every single one of those films is completely spot on and did exactly what they set out to do with the budget that they had. 10. How do you discover new or new to you horror books? Basically, it's Dane's channel again. Nobody else I follow seems to talk about horror that much. 11. What was the last horror book that you bought? Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. I bought it from the charity shop because I'm planning on getting into the horror genre at some point in the next year. 12. What horror book is at the top of your wish list? There was a series I remember from years ago called The Monstrumologist or something like that, and I always meant to purchase the series and I never did. So if you've read it and you think that that's good, then do let me know. 13. Tag some people. I'm going for Tom Reads Things, MH Books, Bald Book Geek, Abby Mac Reads, and my friend Lykios Reads, because I have absolutely no idea who reads horror fiction, and there are a few people I think that you ought to all go and check out. Anyway, I'm going to leave that video there. I hope to actually go and read some horror fiction within the next year and completely terrify myself. If you, like I said, if you do have some recommendations for me, do leave them in the comments. I hope that you got something out of this video, and until next time, that is all.